Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Let's talk about the best performing market on Turo. If you want to get into Turo and you're like, I don't even want to run the cars, let me just send it to somebody else. What is the highest returning market you could possibly get into? Let's see. Let's find out. So Turo has a car calculator. It's pretty good. It's not exact on what you can generate. We find the numbers are a little conservative compared to what we've seen, but of course, to each his own. This is an average across everybody. But we're going to look at different states and different areas or cities, I guess, and determine what is the best market that you can rent your car out in. So let's start with Phoenix. This is where we're located. And you could see that the top producing cars, 205% annualized ROI. It's not bad. That's pretty good. Phoenix is one of the higher producing markets. It does really well compared to other markets. So Fiat 500 is top, Grand Caravan, Chevy Spark, Mitsubishi Mirage, Mazda X, CX-3, Buick Encore, Dodge Journey, Ford Focus, Sonic, Trax, that stuff you'd expect. Now, let's go ahead and of course, there's different tiers. If you wanted a more expensive car, the top one is 119%, and then 40 to 100,000, you're looking at 86% with the Lincoln Navigator. But let's look at the other places. Let's look at how Phoenix does compared to national average. So our top is 205%. National average is 195. So we're beating national average by 10% on the top performing car. Now, I think what we should do is probably just look at the top cars from every city, maybe the top three, and then we could determine which one's the best. So let's just start at A for Anchorage. 442%. Holy crap, that is insane. That is like literally 2 times on the top producing car. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. So Mazda 3 is 442% in Anchorage. So let's do a little calculation. Let's compare it to Phoenix. So we're gonna do Phoenix. Let's just do the same car. Mazda 3. I don't know, I can't. Here it is. Oh my gosh, 7,500. So it literally does 3 times better as far as revenue we were generating. You're looking at 21,000 and Phoenix is like 7,500. So almost 3 times better for that specific car. But then of course the market for the top car is 2 times better in Anchorage than it is in Phoenix. Next car is 418. So you're losing about 24%. And the next car is still 418. That is absolutely crazy. That is crazy return. You rarely see a car make more in a year than what it costs to buy. That's very rare. Our goal is to have a car paid off in 10 months to a year on value versus what it makes. So in a year, again, if we have a car that's 20,000, we'll make 20,000 a year on that car. But this is more than that, which is crazy. If you can get a Mazda 3 for under that and get a higher ROI, that is absolutely crazy. Holy crap. I don't think we're going to find a market that's going to beat it, but let's go ahead and look at Atlanta. Oh, that's under the national average. National average top is 195, so this is about 11% under. Ford Focus 159. Geez, that's a pretty big difference. It's a 25% difference. And then Chevy Cruze is at 142, so you're losing 17% on that difference there. That's not great. Obviously, I'm going to stick with these cheaper cars. The more expensive ones, I mean, they just go down in ROI. The cheaper, the better ROI. Let's look at Boston and those other 2 places. Ford, Fiesta, Focus, they're both pretty high up there. This one beats national average by a little bit. It's pretty close to Phoenix. Let's see how close it is to Phoenix. So this actually is beating Phoenix right here, Boston. Wow, 217, 214, 207. So these are pretty close to each other. I noticed that the Nissan Versa is really high up there on a lot of these lists. The Fiesta, not so much, but the Focus is top 10 on the list from the ones we've seen so far. So this is a really good market, at least better than Phoenix. That's pretty cool. My only worry would be the winter. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, maybe winters are good, but I would just think, it's cold there. People aren't visiting as much, maybe somewhat similar to our summer, so nobody comes here. Let's see, Chicago. That's a little bit downward. We're looking at a 9% decrease from national average on top performing car. Then 163, that's like a 19% difference, and then a 13% difference for the number 3. That's not great. Obviously, Boston's better, and then Anchorage is the best so far. Let's look at Dallas, Fort Worth. So 208, that's great. That's 13% over top performing, or top on national. And then 190 is 5% under national on top performing cars. So that's pretty good. Mirage G4, 188. So that's pretty good. Obviously, the better return you can get is by getting these vehicles for cheaper than what they put here. But you don't want to sacrifice like crazy high miles or super old just because like the maintenance is going to be up there. And then, you're not making 7,600 a year. You're not going to net it at least. Denver Volta, I heard this is a really, really good place. And it is. It's not better than Phoenix, but it is a great market. So you're looking at 201%, which is 6% over national. And then 197, which is really good. These cheap Renegades, you can find them cheaper than that. We found a couple. I bought one for $13,500 once. We're looking at auction $1,450 or $13 to $14 to $15,000 for like 30 to 50,000 miles. So that would be a pretty good buy for this area. Jeep Cherokee, we have a couple of those, 12,000. It's okay. That's about what we bought ours for too. We got 3 of those right now. Honolulu. So we're looking at Hawaii. Holy crap. That is insane. 406% on a Mirage. Mirage has been one of the top performing cars on a lot of these markets. But oh my gosh, let's do a little comparison between Honolulu and Anchorage. So Anchorage is, you can't do top, I guess. So let's just look at the top 3. So you're looking at 406, 335. That's a pretty big drop. I mean, that's a 61% drop in that. Well, 71% drop in just from number 1 to number 2. That is crazy. Let's look at that versus Anchorage. Yeah, Anchorage beats it by a bit, but that's still really, really good. I mean, that's holy crap. That right there is 200% or 2 times best Phoenix, and then this is beating Phoenix by a lot. And that beats national average by a ton. That is crazy. Let's just look at just for this one, more expensive car. So, oh my gosh, at 25 to 40,000, you're looking at 229%. That is insane. More expensive, 178. Holy crap. That's really good. That's really, really good. Okay, let's keep going. Houston, 205, 193, 165. Similar-ish to Phoenix, beating national average. Not by a ton, but that's pretty good to see. Sonics you can get pretty cheap. Fiestas you can get pretty cheap. A3s. We had a couple Fiestas. That's kind of how we started. The only issue that we had was depreciation on the back end. That was it. My maintenance was okay. The cars did pretty well. I think we did pretty well on those. Just again, the back end sales was a little tough on those. Las Vegas, I heard, is similar to Phoenix. Well, actually, it's not. It beats Phoenix by a little bit as far as top producing car. Let's look at comparables. So they're at 143, 127. Let's see what we're at. Wow. Yeah, they have us beat for sure on the top performing car. I did not expect that. Wow, yeah, on all 3 top performing cars, they have us beat. That is really impressive. I've heard Vegas is good, so they definitely have a good market. That is good to know. Los Angeles, let's see, 196. So they're about national average on the top performing car, 182, 173. That's nice. You're not looking at a huge spread between number 1, number 2, number 3. Even number 4, I mean, you're losing 10% on each as far as analyzed return, but that's not a ton compared to the other ones. I mean, some you're losing 70% from 1 to 2. That's not terrible. Miami, I think, would be pretty good. Wow, I guess it's not as good as I thought. 173, 150, 141. That's not great. My only problem with the Fiat 500C, I believe these are the electrics. Let's see. Is it a good car? Okay. Is the Fiat 500 electric? So it's electric. That would be my worry. Is I don't know, electric cars. I mean, if you don't have a place to charge them, people can't go super far, especially in those Fiat 500Cs. I don't know what the range is, but I guarantee it's not very good compared to like Tesla or some of the other ones. So this isn't very impressive. Their market doesn't look great. We already looked at national average New York. I think New York is okay. Wow. Wow. Yeah. New York is really good. Ford Focus, it's like one of the top on all the lists. That's really good to see. 8,500 for a year. That's pretty good. Let's see how that compares to Phoenix. 85. Our focuses do 65. So New York does 20 or 33% better than ours, which makes sense. I mean, the only problem you're dealing with there is costs for things. So cost of living, which means labor's more expensive, mechanical is more expensive. I mean, I think everything's more expensive there relatively to places like Phoenix. LA is probably a little more expensive than here. But yeah, I mean, that's tough trade-off. That's part of the calculation you have to run is, okay, I may in Anchorage, I may be able to make, 2 to 3 times as much, but how much more are the costs? How much more is it to have somebody manage it maybe? Or how much more is it for maintenance? How much more is, I mean, you really have to factor that in, because if you just look at a 3 times revenue and you don't look at the cost, I mean, what if it's like a 4 or 5 or 6 times cost? I mean, those are just numbers made up, but if they are, that's tough. It's hard to rationalize a decision like that based on a single number. There's a lot of factors that go into this, and I'll tell you right now, revenue is not just the only factor you need to look into. Orlando, I know nothing about Orlando. Wow, that's not bad. 230. Focus is everywhere. Wow, that is really good. 230%, 173 for Caravan, and then Fiesta, 67. That's not bad. I mean, we've already seen worse, but that's not bad. We've already seen the Phoenix Market. We'll take a look again. 500 Grand, Fiat 500 Grand Caravan Spark. Pretty good numbers, beating the national average, not by a ton, but still pretty good. San Diego, under the national average from the first one. Let's see. So 193, 193, 193, 176. I think that's over national average. Yeah. At least the second one. The second one is, but not by a ton. I mean, it's kind of, San Diego's just kind of at-ish national average. So that's good to know. I mean, but then again, like cost of living, maybe labor, maintenance, I mean, you have to look into those. So the cost for that kind of stuff could be more here as opposed to Phoenix. San Francisco. Wow. That's pretty dang good. 235. This Mirage is everywhere. Wow, that is crazy. Jaguar XE, I've seen that a couple of times, not on this list, but I've looked into the numbers and they look pretty good. 16 grand per year. That is really, really good. I mean, if you could buy, I've seen a couple of those for sale under that. So that could be a pretty good car. That return is nice. Ford Fiesta, of course. Wow. San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose, those look really, really good. Let's see, Seattle, 204. Okay, so this is just over national average, probably similar to Phoenix, Grand Caravan, Fiesta, BMW X2. Interesting. Not crazy, but a little over. Other. So this is in the U.S. I wonder what this is referring to. Like, where could this be? What cities or states? Good return. Yeah, definitely good return. It's beating national average. If only they'd tell us what those included. It does down here. It doesn't. Okay, let's see. Last one is Washington. I'll do it. Oh, wow. That is insane. So Ford EcoSport is 235, which is really good return. It's really good return. The only problem is when you look at EcoSport versus Kia Rio, which is number 2, that's a huge drop. That's a 91% drop. That is crazy. Holy crap. I mean, like, you just have to buy a bunch of Ford EcoSports unless you could buy other things that are cheaper. Like, I mean, a Kia Rio, though, for example, we bought ours and we had one for like $8,600. So, I mean, it paid itself off in a year, which is good. Dang, that's pretty good. Good top one. Second one's not good. Third one's pretty similar to the second, so not great. So I guess looking at all these numbers, Anchorage is number 1. Like, there is no question. Anchorage is 1, and then number 2 is, where's it? Honolulu. That's good to know. So the way that we calculate good cars to buy, I'll just show you real quick. I mean, first thing I usually do is look at this. I'll look at the main Turo car calculator and look at, okay, Fiat 500 can make this much a year. Okay, how much can I buy one for at 50,000 miles or under? 2015 plus. Like I'll run these numbers in my head. I'll look at the auctions or private and see what they're selling for, and then myself determine the ROI myself. Because like these numbers, I know you can get a Fiat 500 for a lot less than that. I mean, I know people that have gotten them for like 1,700 to like $8,000. I mean, you can get them a lot cheaper. So that's good. I mean, I can get a really good return on that. But then, of course, you got to look at maintenance, you got to look at depreciation. There's a lot more things you have to look at. And then the way I determined most of our cars is I literally went to here. So I went to Phoenix, my city. And then I went through, I kid you not, I've done this like 2 or 3 times. I went through every single car. It doesn't take you a long time. And once you understand purchase price of cars, I mean, you're able to kind of go through them really quickly and determine whether it's a good purchase or not. So I'll give you an example. So Toyota Sienna, 12,500 in a year, 34,000. That's pretty accurate. I mean, I know I can buy one at auction for 25 to 30,000, but it only makes 12,000 in a year. I understand maintenance, I understand depreciation, but to me, that's not a really good purchase because it's only making 50% of what I want to see. Another example is the Atlas. So this is making 11,000 per year. I know I can buy one for mid to high 20s, like 25 to 30,000, but it's only making 11,000 per year. Now let's look at another example. Let's look at let's see, Hyundai Elantra. Okay, so Hyundai Elantra, we bought ours for 10,000, and it says it's making 8,300 a year. I know it's going to make more than that for ours, so I know that's a good return, and that's part of it, like understanding your numbers based on what you've done in the year period, and then calculating it with purchase price. Another one, the last one I'll do is a Kia. I love these Kia Rios. So we can do 7,400. Our last one we bought was 8,600. If we include private rentals, or, you know, we probably have higher utilization, higher rental rate than other places just because we're close to the airport. We have a good system in place. We could probably get close to that 8,600 to 9,000 per year. So that's pretty good. That's another purchase that I would get. So do a lot of research. Those are the top places to, you know, have cars in. Best system, if you're like, I just want to get some cars out there, is I would contact people that do co-hosting out there, interview them, make sure that they have a good system, because anybody could just say like, oh yeah, you know, I do this, I'm good at it. Like, look at their system, look at their cars, look at their reviews, look at all their processes that they have in place. Make sure that it's a good, you know, system for your cars to be in, and then determine, you know, strategy. Okay, I'm going to buy them from here, I'm going to hold them for this long, and then I'm going to sell them this way. So just know your intro strategy, which is how you can get into it, and your exit strategy. You should be okay, but honestly, really good markets to look at. So thanks again for watching. Please subscribe if you want any more information on, you know, what I talk about, car rentals mostly, information like this. But thanks again for watching. I hope to see you in the next video.